Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, the channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and today we're doing a playthrough of Sleeping Gods Distant Skies, the sequel to Sleeping Gods. Okay, so right off the bat, this is a Kickstarter version, I guess. I bought it from a local gaming shop that apparently sells Kickstarter. Maybe they got in on the Kickstarter retailer pledge level or something. But this is a little bit extra. It's got some nice embossed on the box, and also there are some upgraded components. These miniatures here, and some metal components. The ship is painted. The plane is painted. There's a couple other items here that are enhanced, but not too many bells and whistles. Okay, so we're going to just start playing the campaign together. This is a spoiler, going to be spoiler filled if you haven't played it and you want to play it spoiler free. So this is a way for if you want to get to know the beginning of the game or whatever, just to kind of see how it plays. But be aware that, again, there are going to be spoilers. So this is actually my second playthrough, so we might have a couple of bumps and things here. We'll see how it goes. I'm drinking some Black Forest tea from Walnut Tree Company, the local place that I like to buy tea from. Quite a fan of drinking tea. It's nice to sit and have a nice warm beverage while you're going through this. Let's take a look, before we get too much in the weeds here, let's go ahead and take a look at the setup for the game. You'll notice I have placed everything out already. I've already drawn as instructed. You draw the base cards, and as we're playing solo, or we're playing together, but I'll be controlling the cards, of course. So you pool these all together, same with the ability cards. There's no differentiating between players because there's only one player. In the start setup, I actually drew this Orphash's Curse, which lost 2 health for Claire Smith. A little bit of a bummer. And it instructed me to draw a new card, so I did so. This isn't going to be really a tutorial. There is a tutorial in the booklet here, which says you can start playing immediately. There are a bunch of, little instructions and things. I'm not going to go through all that. I kind of actually, to be honest with you, did in fact start recording using this, but it seemed a little clunky to do so. I'm just going to go ahead and play. I should also mention that I have experience playing this game because I have played Sleeping Gods, although it's been a while since I've done that. I did read up on the rules, so I do know how to play, but of course I might have to stop here and there for little reminders about the differences and things. And I haven't played Sleeping Gods in quite a while. But I will go through just so it makes sense and read this comic story. One other note here, I did arrange these in a way a little bit different than the way the booklet shows, simply because these, man, what a nightmare. I can see myself knocking those, and it is a bit of a table hog, so I just wanted to leave a little room to be able to put things and set things nicely for it to see. I'll probably move the book here. I just wanted to leave these out so you could kind of get a sense of how things are set up and what comes with the game. Okay, so we're going to go through briefly here. We're going to go through the comic. Time for story time. Counting that time, everybody. Okay, so we got San Francisco, 1937. We left the bay late in the day on a last-minute cargo run. Okay, my cousin Jessie came along to see her father in Hawaii. Jessie's up here with a baseball bat. An art trader kept an eye on one of his rare collections. It was bound for a backdoor sale in Honolulu. His assistant and soon-to-be son-in-law was along to detect possible art forgeries. Okay, so these two characters are related. Okay. Not long into the flight, Eugene and I spotted something ahead. It looked like a giant eye made of light, and it pulled at the plane like a magnet. How do you like any sound effects? Not like the airplane guy. Not the airplane guy, the police academy guy. In a flash of light, the glittering sea below turned into a cloudy valley surrounded by icy cliffs. As we circled back to search for the eye, an apocalyptic screech shook the plane. Krah! A primeval terror was pursuing us. There's the box cover. My wife and I always like to point out when they say the title of the movie in the movies, and this is, I guess, sort of the equivalent of that, having the box cover right in the story here. There's another one. Yeah, they're dead. Okay. It's right behind us. We barely escaped. As we navigated the unfamiliar peaks, Eugene spied an encampment in the heart of a green valley. We decided to land and get our bearings. Thank God you arrived. I never thought I would get back to Oslo. A man emerged from the tent and introduced himself as Henrik Krag. You've entered a strange world, my friends, and getting back to Earth won't be easy. Almost every passenger from my plane is lost or dead. Can you help me find the survivors? We will need to use your plane to get back. The monster destroyed mine. There's a woman just north of here. She says she can make the monster sleep so we can pass unharmed. It's our only chance now. A distant moon blinked through the haze when we set out to find the woman that could help us home. But we got lost along the way. Some wanted to turn back. So I'm going to kind of bump past this because it's just the instructional stuff. They kind of tell you to do some stuff. But essentially, we get back up to here. Azarius led us to the foot of a great boulder covered in carved letters and a crescent moon. There in the fog, a woman stood, her face and hair glimmering with tiny stars. She told us her name was Mikra and that she was a god. We tried to ask her for help. Surely a god could get us back to the portal to our home, but she silenced our pleas. The gods have grown weak since we wakened 8 years ago. Our power has long diminished. Only diminished. You'd think I hadn't done this already. You wish to return to your world, and I can help you, but you will need to help me as well. The god Orphash seeks to destroy me. To survive, I must have the power of the totems. These special stones have been drained of their power and hidden away, lost and mostly forgotten. But if you find them and the right ingredients, I can rejuvenate the totems, regain my power, calm the monster that guards the portal to your world, and defeat Orphash. I have a few dormant totems to give you, and Azarius can help you find more. He will know where to look and how to find me when you are in need. Now go. The portal to your world won't stay open forever. Once it closes, many years will pass before it opens again. So that's the setup to our story. It also has us draw some cards, which I have already done so. We're going to get an opening quest here, as well as these adventure cards. So let's take a look at the adventure cards here. Here's the totems that we're getting, which is also the goal of the game. Some interesting things. We can redraw fate, which is the same thing as this basic gear here. We can do something that's not an attack, but we have to feed it with some meat. Power it up with some meat. Travel 3, ignore obstacles. That seems pretty handy. And then this thing here looks like it just gives us some meat and whatever this item is. I believe it's on the back of the book. This is a sand honey, which is common. So we have a whole list here, which I'll probably be referring to quite a bit. Okay, so those are some handy items. Again, storing these is going to be quite a bit of problem, but I think I can kind of put them like this, maybe. That's the thing about these table hogging games. And then these guys. And this I know is our pilot, Eugene. He's sort of our way to get the plane to us when we need him. So originally I kind of thought it was a bit weird. This would make more sense, like the whole thing of like moving a ship around and then getting off and checking out an island or something made a lot of sense. And then when I heard this was about a plane, I'm like, how is that going to work? But actually it seems pretty interesting. Our plane is sitting here and we're able to take off and go to these other pages. We can also walk to these other pages and then land where the plane symbol is, but we can sort of like have Eugene bring the plane to us if we need him to, so we don't have to keep coming back to the same spot. Kind of interesting. He's there. Okay, and let's read our quest here. Keyword moon, so that's going to be important here. Place this card face down beneath the top 8 cards of the event deck. When you draw it, turn to 98. This counts as your event card draw. Okay, so we're going to count out. We're playing on normal mode. I should have mentioned that already too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I shuffle these, I maddeningly have put them going 2 ways. I like to have everything a little neat and orderly, but c'est la vie. Okay, so setting up here, we're going to start with the first turn with Azarius. We have a little fancy time clock here. That's one of the other components that comes with the upgrade. Otherwise, we have this other cardboard token off camera here. Okay, so now we're ready to start. So we're going to start by pass action player token. Okay, Draw 2 ability cards. So we're going to get to 2 cards here. I'm not going to really investigate these yet until we really need to come up with something. You can attach these whenever, so it seems like it makes sense to to not place them until you need them. That seems to be a good strategy. We'll see if that makes sense going forward. Okay, and then we've got draw 2 ability cards and draw 1 event card. So let's see what we've got here. This is Azarius' turn. Fuel merchants. Merchants haul fuel from the crashed airplanes near the God Eye. This remains in play until you pay 3 resources. Okay, and then you'll gain 3 fuel. This is a level 1 card. We removed some of these in the... I removed 8 for it to be normal mode. They're randomly interspersed there, so that's actually not a bad card to get. I think I'm going to stick this up here. Event discard, that won't be discarded. Unused combat, oh yeah, okay, there doesn't seem to be a good spot to put that, so that's going to be the spot. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention was that I should have mentioned this earlier, is that I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if I'm going to record a full playthrough of the full campaign. That seems a little crazy. I don't know who's going to watch all that, but we'll see how it goes. But with that, let's officially begin playing the game. And this is hopefully, if I've timestamped correctly, you'll have been able to jump to this point. Okay, so I mean, it seems reasonable. You know, I don't really have any particular place to go. We've added that card to the event deck. There's no specific place we should go. I just know I have to find totems. But it does seem to make sense to just kind of explore around to where we are right now. So, I mean, let's just, I mean, it seems makes like it makes sense to explore here. However, I already forgot this. I've drawn my 2 cards for the ability cards. I've not drawn my event card, so let's do that. And then we're going to go on to actions. Raiding raccoons. So this is Azarius' turn. Raccoons rob the plane, chewing cables and causing mayhem. At the turn end, gain a threat. If it has 3 or more threat, draw fate. If fate is between 1 and 5, take 1 plane damage and lose a resource. This remains in play until you move the plane. And then I'll gain a route. So this... So everybody's turn ends... So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. By the time we get to Jesse Wilder's turn, it's going to go off. And it could... I mean, it seems very likely. I don't know how much... what the fate range is. But it does seem very likely. Okay, so the fate range, actually, if you look here, it does go up to 8, although that's very unlikely. So 6 and 7, there's 20 cards of those. So there actually are a pretty decent chunk of those. I mean, quickly looking at that, it looks maybe like a 25% chance. Raccoons are running around in our plane. That's interesting, although I don't really see... I mean, I guess I just have to move the plane. So this is also going to remain in play. I'm going to set it up here. Maybe I should find a better place to put those 2. I don't know. I guess I'm inclined to just search here, as I said. I suppose we could look around here a little bit, or I could look here, then look here, and then take the plane out. But losing 1 and 1 is not great. But I mean, otherwise, what? I'm just going to fly to some new land? I guess I could. I mean, in which case, maybe I should just leave now. But I don't know how many of those types of things are going to happen. I think I'll just explore the base area. That actually is probably a good idea anyway for a playthrough, because you know, if you want to get a sense of the basic area, that's maybe the best thing to do. So we'll just take the hit on that and just deal with it. Okay, so we're going to go to 6. So we're going to... I didn't even open this up. That's pretty neat here. This is a whole thing here. So we're going to go to... Here we are, 6. Wow, you can really easily give away things to yourself. Mountain winds tickle the ochre grass, brushing the valley until thousands of stalks sway like waves on a yellow sea. Mikra's shrine, a monolith carved with a crescent moon, casts a long dark shadow, like a patch of night that has not yet melted away. A thick cloud gathers around the base of the boulder, and Mikra strides out. "How goes your search? We must hurry. Orfash grows stronger the longer we wait. So we can ask her to tell you more about the totems, we can ask her where to find the totems, or we can return to the map. I mean, I think we kind of know this information, but I don't see any harm. I should have done, I explored, so right off the bat here we're doing something wrong. So does it sit here, or... It is funny how you how many questions you find that seem so obvious when you read the rule book and then you start playing. Maybe you've had this experience. Yeah, it does start up on the top. Okay. So I should have moved it 1-2 to do the explore action. So that was a little oversight there. Okay, I think that we might as well. I mean, we're talking to her. We've taken the time to do so. Let's do this. Let's do the we'll do them in order. 6.1 and then 6.2. Okay, so that's probably just the next page. The power of the totems is linked to the power of the gods. As the gods have grown weak, the power of the totems has faded. If you rejuvenate enough of them, I will have the power to make the Hellthark sleep and allow you to go home. Mikra picks a dried... that's a pterodactyl. It looks very much like a pterodactyl. Mikra picks up a dried red blossom and crushes it in her fingertips. The peppery aroma soon has your eyes watering. The burning of this sun rose is strong but momentary. The power of a totem now fades just as quickly. To return their power, you can use local herbs, though sometimes it takes more precious ingredients. But there are maps and clues to help you find them. Here, take this one. Well, I'm glad we did this. Gain Quest 13. So I have this on the table here so you can see kind of, maybe if I put my thing there. But this is not the kind of thing we need on the table. But it is, what a lovely little box that is, huh? I can show you here on the, sorry, a little bit better here. But it's got that little magnet enclosure and everything. Very nice. We'll put it back up here. Adventure card, Quest 13. Whoa! That was close. Quest 13, not Adventure 13. So this is maybe like a don't do this. Okay, so we've got Quest 13 now. And it says to turn to 6, so we're basically going to go back here. And we're probably going to just jump right to 6.2. So I'm just going to turn the page back, if that's okay with you guys. Okay, 13, it looks like a little bit of a map here. When on this exact atlas square, spend 1 time to search for treasure. Okay, so, and that's going to be your reward, is going to be something like this. So this seems pretty likely to, I guess it's going to give us something, which is one of these better resources. Yes, these are the, that's common. So these are quests. So these are more powerful. They're harder to come by. And it looks like you can kind of keep doing this. It says you will put it in a completed quest, otherwise you can keep doing it until you find something. Now, let's just take a look here right off the bat. It does not really look like anything we have. This mountain has a bunch of brown in it, and it doesn't look like we have any brown mountains. Now, what's interesting is I don't think you're allowed to just look through this book. In fact, this is a little bit like a kind of game where you get to find out what kind of a gamer you are, I guess, because if you're a nuts and bolts gamer, this game probably isn't going to appeal you to as well. I tend to be more of a nuts and bolts gamer, but it seems like you might look through. But if you want to preserve the more thematic nature of this game, which I would say we're going to do that, you wouldn't start looking through the booklet. Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's on this page. I'm looking now, there's a little bit of brown there that looks similar. Yeah, so, okay, so I'm like, did I leave the iron on? I'm going to look at that a bunch. So I'm going to keep these quests, I guess I'll keep my quests over here a little bit. I have to really jam things in here. Okay, so we're going to jump back up to, we're going to ask her where to find the totems now. Mikra shakes her head. I wish I knew where the totems are. They've been scattered every way the wind blows and hidden in the shallowest pockets and the deepest graves. The best thing to do is keep your ears open and your minds sharp. Something so powerful isn't easy to hide. What about Orfash? You said he plans to destroy you. Yes, that's true. But if you bring me enough totems, perhaps he won't succeed and I can get you home. I'm a little trusting of this Mikra. She's like, bring me these things and I'll do this thing. Nice and easy. I'm glad we ran into you, Mikra. I don't know if we should be automatically assuming. I wonder if we'll get that choice towards the end. That'll be interesting to say. Orfash or Mikra. That's interesting. Okay, so we're going to go back to 6. And now the only choice really we have left is to go back, return to the map. Now, one thing I do need to do is to log what's happening. One reason I did decide to play this, I've only played the one campaign of Sleeping Gods, but I played it too long ago. So one of my goals here is to keep better notes, because that's going to be more likely for me to go and replay this game. And luckily they do have this nice little map here that's going to make it easy to keep track. They did have this prior, but I'm going to try to utilize it a little more smartly, and I would encourage you to do the same if you're going to play this. Okay, so we've marked off 6, and we are ready to take our next action, camping, which is the action where we can rest and everything. We're not going to take that very often because that is our clock for the game. Traveling, we're going to have to travel now because we can't really do anything else here. Or we could fly, or we could repair, which is kind of unnecessary. So we're going to go ahead and spend 1 time to move a space. And it looks like, yeah, we just move 1 space for 1 time. I guess also, by the way, we could go a different way. It kind of seems like we would go this, kind of explore these. 1, 2, 3. Or we could go 1, 2. It seems like there's a lot of stuff here. However, if we go this way, we can go off the map here. That will take us to 7. This way, and this way. So I'd like to do this stuff, but I guess that would mean we're going to go this way. Of course, I could go straight down and pass this way. Either way, I'm going to be going into a space with an obstacle here. So I'd rather not. I'd like to hit the most efficient, like see the most stuff. This looks kind of cool though. That little hey, there's a waterfall. That's if you've ever played a video game, you know that that's a good spot to get something good. So maybe what we're going to do, and I don't know what this symbol is here. We better find out what that symbol is real fast. A lot of icons. I think maybe it's just a drawing. It looks very much like a symbol, but it might just be a drawing on there. But there's nothing. Is that? No, it's not. I mean, if you can look here, it's not an obstacle, so it must just be some weird symbol. That'll probably come important with some other quest. Okay, so I think what I'd like to do here, and hopefully you're okay with this, is I'm going to go here, 1, 2. We're going to go to this waterfall. Maybe we'll be rewarded for being, for being a normal gamer, I guess. And then maybe come down this way and go off the map over here. One reason is because we avoid the mountains, we avoid the obstacles, which is some damage, and then maybe we'll find a little reward here. It doesn't quite do as many things as I like. So this is 1, 2, 3. In those 3 spaces, we get a bunch of stuff. But I'm going to go to the waterfall. That's what we'll do. So we're going to go 1, 2, which is going to be... we started on this space, by the way. Sorry, so that was 1. So 1, 2. So I had already moved my time clock. Okay, so we're going to go to 10. Let's go ahead and grab our booklet again. And we're going to go and see 10. Oh boy. Hopefully that's not in this space. Water roars over the rocks and glistening dew from the misty air drips from your nose and chin. A small bag hangs from a ledge above the foam. Sorry, I looked up to make sure you guys can see this. So A, we can investigate a face carved into the rock further downriver. That's perception 6, although we'll lose 4 health if we fail. Or we can lash branches together to snag the bag. And that's we would get more damage by doing it, and we get different things for both. So if we investigate, perhaps we can find some kind of hidden spot or whatever, some kind of like hidden handhold. If we lash the branches, we can hurt ourselves more, and I wonder Well, either way, if we get the reward, it's just the damage. So maybe that's better. And I don't have a great. Nobody has more than one. I could equip these to get, although I don't really have much. This symbol. In crafting, she has 2 crafting. She seems the most useful, so I think we're not going to equip anything. I think I'm just going to do Perception 6. I don't really see, honestly, a reason to exhaust anybody to do this, really. We're going to gain 1. Although, let's look over our skills. I can get a shield. I can avoid a morale. He can get rid of some of these. They can get rid of some stuff. I can redraw fate. I can add a strength or a cunning. And she can reroll the die. So not a lot of amazing abilities there. This is pretty good to get this symbol, which is, I forgot what that's called. Savvy skill. I think I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna, exhausting seems very bad. It's likely I'll fail anyway. I'm just gonna add 1. I don't want to have to camp very often, so I think I'm just gonna do this. It's a 4, so I fail here. It's gonna be -4 health. I think I'll just spread out the love a little bit. 1, ooh, he's only got 11. 2, 3, 4. And not the captain who got cursed earlier, which is unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to go to 10.1. The ancient face has a horrified expression. Empty eyes stare up at the sky, and a cavernous mouth opens to drink up the entire river with ravenous thirst. The stone eyes start twitching in their sockets. Or is it the light? So I can explore the river inside the open mouth, which takes Moxie, or I can back away slowly. Okay, well, we're here. We've already spent our time and energy to do this. Which, by the way, I explored, so I would be here. I really gotta watch this. So I explored for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did not have the ability to do that. Wow. Your guide has messed up. How do I rectify that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that was fine. I'm your guide is not on top of it, but that's it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that is not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so how do I remedy this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm gonna back up. I'm just gonna try to fix this error. I do apologize for that. So the next player is gonna get an extra time. Okay. So we're going to reset this. We're gonna draw 2 ability cards. Okay, so that's these 2 here. And then we're going to draw a new event. So we're going to have a little information. That's okay. Okay, and by the way, we're going to have to add a threat over here. Okay. We've got bears smell food on the plane and try to break into it at night. Take 1 plane damage, discard the Eugene adventure card if it's in hand. That's terrible. So Eugene is out of here. Now that's really bad. He's going to go into the adventure discard here because we're not going to get him back until we camp. That's pretty bad, and we take a damage. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, and then this is going to be the event discard. This. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to jump ahead. We will explore for 1, 2 by getting rid of this. Again, I'm sorry about that. And then we're back in the mouth of the cave. Our people are like, what's going on? Okay, so I mean, we've definitely spent the time and energy to come here, so I really feel that let's keep soldiering on. However, this failing of 6 health is a pretty substantial thing. Moxie of 10. can I equip any Moxie? That's this symbol here. So getting this non-combat damage torch seems pretty good. I'm going to have to spend 2 cards to equip this if I want to do that. And she has 2 Moxie, so I tend to like to make specialized people that are really good at stuff rather than having everybody be a little not so great at everything. And just checking through my cards, I can... Okay, so let's go ahead and equip this, which is going to be 2 cards to do. This seems really good. This being able to draw fate once per challenge, redraw the fate. +1 health each time any player explores. Oh my god, that's amazing. I really should have looked at these ahead of time. It's a lot to kind of process with this. Also, it takes some bandwidth to keep speaking and keep you guys engaged here. But I think these 2 are very, very good. This is really good too. Oh, two of these will get you another a discarded adventure card. That could be clutch if we've got a really good card. So I think these seem pretty good. I'd rather not get rid of them. I don't know how often we're going to get that symbol. This gives you 2 hearts back. This seems pretty effective. Okay, so camping is not that often, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. And we've got a lot of these symbols. So I'll get rid of this. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of these 2 to do that. Okay, to equip this. And now I think we're gonna go on this. See, these really slide around. Really missing this current trend in gaming where everything has these little, insets to hold your tokens nicely. That seems like it would have been really nice in this game. Okay, so she's got 3 Moxie. We've got to muster up 10, so I think we're going to have to spend her 1. That's going to be 3. We do have a way to re-roll fate here. These 2 have, he's got 2, he's got 2, he's got 2. She doesn't have any 2s, so I think I'm going to spend 1 of hers to add another Moxie. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boy, that doesn't seem like enough. That's a lot to spend and not have any reward. I don't have any others in my hand. That's a really tough skill here. I'm really reluctant to spend for 1, but that could really be the damn difference between 6 health. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 4. Again, let's take a look quickly at the... So there's 22. Boy, that's not a great range here. I think I'm going to spend 1 more person just because it seems like quite a lot. He's got 2 double skills, and it's the same as Miguel. So let's spend Miguel's as well, which will be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's draw our fate, which is 3. That's a lot to spend and still fail. That's a real feel bad. I'm going to use this Pebble of Luck, though. We're going to redraw fate. Boy, this is 5. Okay. All right, well, that was nice. Okay, so that's a succeed. We don't have to minus the health. We're going to explore into the river inside this open mouth. We're going to go to 10.3. Okay. You jump into the roaring water, struggling against the rush. Every swell is like 100 wet ropes wrapped around your body. Azarius climbs onto a ledge and helps you up as you gasp for breath. The river disappears into a misty chasm, howling as it falls into the darkness. Hanging from the ceiling like a bead of water is a strange pebble. You pluck it out and a voice bellows from the cave's dark throat. Only true worshippers of Shorm enter here. I should have known, says Azarius. That face of living stone was made by the Shorm, goddess of stone and the fire of the deep earth. We must leave now. Okay, so we're going to gain quest 127. Let's get that first. Let's go in order. So that was good to get a quest card, but like a bit of an effort to have to just turn back. But hopefully this will give us a little more purpose wandering around here. Okay. A dormant totem that you can rejuvenate at any time by discarding these items. If you do, place this card in completed quest and gain adventure card 106. throat stone. So it looks like a gain 1 Og root. Okay. Oh, I forgot we have these as well to spend. Oh, that's another action. That's interesting. Cross off location 10. So let's do that. I'm going to have to develop a better system here of doing these things. There's a lot of booklets and stuff. Okay, so here we are on 10. Okay, I'm going to cross off 10. Okay, return to the map. So I did get the item though. Okay, so that's good. So I'm done with it. Okay, so that actually ended up going okay. I got what I needed, and now we have this throat stone that we have to essentially power up by getting these other items. So that's good, and we can get them here if we find this space here. We can look up here as well. I mean, it could be any of these locations. This does look more likely to be here or here, I guess. Although there's not really any way to know, because a mountain, you could have this kind of mountain in this kind of location. So, but that is one way to help to power that up. Okay, so that was 2, the 1 leftover time from last time, and then this new time. So now what's our next move? I think is going to be to go here. Oh no, we were going to go down here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to explore here, which will be 2. Starting to remember to do these. Okay, so we're going to go to 8. And every time I see this big fire salamander thing, I get a little nervous. I don't like him hanging around my my space here. Okay, 8. If keyword terror does not bode well, turn to 8.1. Okay, let's put this a little central here. As you wander lost in the rugged landscape, a memory repeats like a scratched record. Your father sits in his chair, dirt clinging to the wrinkles on his cheeks, his hair matted from the canvas hat he wears through long hours on the road. You stand across from him, ready for a scolding. We sent you to live with Uncle George so you'd go to a good school. I'm learning to fly now, you tell him, and I'm a crackerjack shot. Line. I'm learning to fly now, you tell him, and I'm a crackerjack shooter. You should see me at the traveling show. Your mother wanted you to have an education, to be strong and independent. Not every young lady is that lucky. I am independent, you say. See? You storm off, leaving your father in silence. A ragged howl pulls you back to reality. Is it coming from the sentinel pines ahead, or the pale fog beyond? Interesting. So we can see here there's the sentinel pines, and we can see the fog here. Moxie. If we fail, we get frightened and return to the map. Okay, so Moxie 12. Man, these tests are bonkers. That's so much. It seems really silly to just get 1 or 2 out of these. I think I'm just going to take frightened. I mean, it doesn't seem to be like worth gaining these, or not gaining. It seems like it's harder to, replace these exhaustion tokens and stuff. So, and that's getting one extra here or there. Maybe I should be attaching more of these cards, or maybe these will get a little easier later. Okay, gain frightened. So this is Ed Lau from Honolulu's turn. So I think he has to gain this, I believe, since it's his turn. Nobody went on any kind of on this. I guess I could have said everybody goes on, in which case I could choose somebody who can't attack. Well, he doesn't have a great, I don't know if he's got a great combat skill. I can get rid of a frightened, but that's not necessarily... I don't think anybody here is especially good at fighting. I guess maybe I should give it to him, since he's more likely to spend his exhaustion tokens and stuff on that. Alright, we'll give it to him for now. Okay. Return to the map. Turn to 8.1. Oh, if I fail, I have to gain frightened and return to the map. I see. Okay, so now this is a reason why I should push into the fog. Huh. Well, I mean, that's kind of silly. So this is one of the turn to 8.1. I see. Okay, so I still do that. It's a little confusing. Let me just try to put this so you guys can see it here. Okay, so it's a little bit confusing because normally you would automatically proceed, but it's pushing me to 8.1. That's kind of an odd little thing there. Okay, so I am going to take this. There's no way I'm going to succeed that. Very unlikely. At the edge of the trees, ghostly creatures bound through the fog like hunting hounds. Perhaps after we kill you, we will offer your bones to the fated gods, and they will let you join us. Okay, so we've got combat, level 6. I mean, I don't have any idea what level I'm on. So we'll see if we're going to get real nervous or killed or what. 12 and 13. I don't know if there was any visual clues here. Doesn't really look like it. Okay, 12 and 13. It is a little farther into this deck. So now we're going to get to do a little combat. Okay, you may run from this combat at the end of any enemy phase. If you do, gain quest 30 and return to the map. If you defeat the enemy's turn to 8.2. Okay, so I'm just going to move this off for now, and we're going to make our little combat area over here. So it has us randomly shuffle these up. There's only 2, but it doesn't matter where they... Okay, so they're ghastly stalkers. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 power tokens on these guys. 1, 2, 3. And we've got the same on the other one. They look very similar here, although shouldn't be. And they're going to gain power. A lot of power each time. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so we're going to grab our combat deck. And we're going to shuffle this up. I did not shuffle this before the game, just in case we got any other cards or anything. So we're going to just do a quick couple of riffle shuffles. And we're going to deal out... Oops. Okay. All right, so we're going to deal a card to her. And that's Tactic Disorient. Disorienting. Okay, disorient. And that's, you get rid of 3 of their power and you have a shield to block the incoming attack. This is a good old wrench. Little pipe wrench here, 3 damage plus you roll the die. So that could be losing us a damage or gaining us up to 3. Well, that's pretty nice. And plus 1 damage if 2 or more wrenches. Oh, interesting. Well, that's too bad. That would have been nice for her to get that. Then we're going to go here. He's going to get the Precise Strike. Now, this one has one of the synergy tokens, which would be good if he got one of those. So let's keep that in mind. He should not go first. 2 damage plus perception. So he'll have 3. That actually makes sense. So you're making your like very precise shot. You have to, have good perception to see where you're shooting. That's kind of cool. And then here we go to combat. 4+. Actually, I can give this card to the captain. Oh, only the active player can give it to the captain. And it's Ed Lau, so only he can give. Okay, so that actually, I'm glad I realized that. Okay, so now we've got, that's a pistol. Hey, that'll work. 4 damage plus the die. That's, so I can give this to her since he cannot attack. He's too frightened. Okay, so he's not going to be involved in the combat. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our combat. Okay, I just did a little quick refresher in the rule book for the combat to just make sure I'm doing things right. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look here. This one is level 3. This is level 3. They look very similar. Yeah, they look basically the same. So it doesn't look like any one is worth killing over the other. It's important to note. This one has 3, 7, 10, 12 health, 7, 10, 6, 10. Okay, so they both have the same amount of health, so 12. I mean, the most I'm really dealing here is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, Okay, so if I roll the maximum, the 3, which is not as likely, I could do up to 16 points of damage. However, do I add feet? So it's not likely that I'll kill both. I'm only going to really be able to kill one, and I think it. I mean, the problem is that this one will get way stronger, but I don't necessarily want to waste a bunch of damage on these things either. What's that symbol again? That's like delirium or something. Delirium, remove madness. I guess that's madness. It does say on the token itself. Madness is no abilities. Okay, so you can't use your abilities. All right. Let's take another quick look here. Not an attack. We can spend a meat. We do have a meat, and that's to use that totem. I don't know if we'll get in another combat, before we camp. So I wonder if it's worth using that. I mean, 4 is a pretty nice chunk of damage. Yeah, let's use this totem, or I guess we could attack and see how well we do, and then make a decision. Okay, this will give us 2 perception, which actually could help us with their attack. Again, another reason to go last. They're the only ones that have a synergy. I think we'll start with the combat with Claire here, because this is the most damage we're going to deal. Okay, so let's start here. 1, okay, so 5. So that's 5 of these little off-camera items. 2, 4, 5. Okay, so this is a pretty devastating thing. I think between this, I'm going to be able to kill one of them, and so I'm not going to cover these symbols up. I'm just going to do my. Yeah, I'm going to try to. Well, I guess I also have to burn them going this way. I didn't factor that in. Okay, so it makes the most sense to put it here because I might not have enough later. So I think that's just generally a pretty good rule of thumb. So that takes care of 4. And then which way do I want to go? So I guess it doesn't really matter. The other player can pop in though, so. Alright, we'll go here. That'll get a synergy token. And I'm going to give that to our player over here, Azarius. We want them to have that token so they can get rid of a power. Okay, so that takes care of her. I'm going to discard that now. He's not fighting. He can do McGill. He's going to tall chalk this ghastly stalker with a wrench. Hopefully we'll roll a little bit better than we did before. Well, we haven't. I wonder how many 1s are on here. There's 2 1s, -1, 2, 0, 3. I guess that's not the worst result. So that's 4. 4 damage. Okay. And now this is, I forgot to do a counterattack, so this is 5 damage to her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is brutal. Wow. That's really brutal. Okay, so this is going to be, we got 2 more attacks, and this isn't even an attack, by the way. Maybe I should have attacked with her first. That was an error. Well, let's not repeat, like go on our long. Okay, so 3. Let's attack. No. Let's do this. Let's get rid of the meat. We're going to activate this totem. And it's going to be 4 plus the die. That goes in the other discard. Okay. So that's 5. Ooh, I didn't... that's so... I didn't assign these. Okay, so I have to back up. You're unreliable narrator here. I should have assigned these. What? This is this here. Okay. So that was my wrench. So I should have assigned these first. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how I should assign them. So I guess I'm going to go to this. He can't attack. We'll give it to the captain. We'll see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Yep. And that gives me 1 more to go here, I guess. I'll just go there. Okay, so now this is a long. I was just looking at this raiding raccoons. I'm like, man, this is a very long turn. Now I'm gonna do this. Okay, I rolled a 1. I mean, I guess I could re-roll it, but I think I'll stick with what I have done here. I could get more, but I feel like that's kind of cheap since I did it. It could have been worse, but it could have certainly been better. Okay, so that's 5. Here's my 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that goes into here. This is not an attack, so it will not cause a counter attack. He's still going to get to attack. Okay, so I think I'm going to use that same rationale. So that's going to be 4. And I guess I'll do this because he's going to get to do his end of round. I mean, I'm taking 4 and 4. This is not looking great. I can reroll the die. I can gain 2 hearts. This is pretty good, but I don't have that meat. I just spent the meat. Okay. So that was not an attack using the totem. Now I'm going to have Azarius attack with this, which is going to be 3 damage, and it's a shield block. And I've got this, which is going to get rid of a power. So we're going to attack. Now I can't kill this one. So I'm going to just attack it up top, I guess. So we're going to get rid of one of its power using my synergy token. And this is going to be 3. I can't get rid of anything. Okay. And I'm going to block one of its damage. So that's 3. We're just going to cover over that. Is that worthwhile? They're going to go, but they can't do any damage. Or should I do... No, I'm just going to take it. So that's 5. Or excuse me, 4. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then they're going to attack. I'm going to attack this one here. I'm going to get rid of these 3. And I'm going to block one of the incoming 2. So that's just 1 damage. Okay. Now, the end of round, they're going to gain power. So I should have done this a little differently maybe. Just getting used to the way this works. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. And then I'm going to have to deal 4 and 4. That's brutal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh boy. Okay, so now we're gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4 more combat cards here. Combat, taunt. So if the synergy token, we get to reroll a die. It's 1 plus cunning, so that's 2, and there's a block. This is 0, but it's plus your strength. Get rid of a power and the die. Double punch, that doesn't seem that great. Whip, that's a damage. Get rid of a power and 2 blocks. And then the captain is going to get this one. 1 to each adjacent enemy, that's nice. 2 plus 1 with an armor. So I got to be really careful because once I attack here, that thing is going to kill me because it's attacking for 2, 4, 6. That will kill me. Even if I So I think I'm going to have to use this first aid immediately. That's here to go 1, 2. And then attack this thing. So I have to roll at least a 1. Since this is 2. This is a whirlwind hit. I guess I'm using that wrench again. And I'll have to use that if I have to reroll this. Okay, 3. Okay, so that's 5. That's enough to kill him, which was my goal here. And then 1 damage to an adjacent enemy, right? To each adjacent enemy. Oops. So this will go. I guess let's just cover this in case I have to fight this guy again. Wow. Okay. So that kills this guy. Okay. 1 ghastly stalker down. This, like, 1 encounter has really wrecked me. That is bonkers. Okay. What's my best bet here? This is a really good thing to have. So this is a good block, so maybe I can get that synergy symbol. So let's do him now. No die roll, just a 1 hit. I guess we can put this guy back in here. He's 13, just to get him off the table. That 1 hit really isn't going to help, though. That's the bummer. I think I can do this just to give, although that's not really worthwhile. If I do that, I guess it does reduce the attack back, although I'm going to take a hit of 3, 5, minus 2. Actually, it'll be 4, minus 2 will be 2 damage, but it will give her the synergy token and the ability to reroll, which she's going to need to use the taunt, otherwise the taunt is only going to do 2 damage, although it could just do that. But it also can remove one of these. Let's do that, I guess. Okay, we're going to attack here. We're going to get rid of one of these. We're going to do 1 damage. And we're just going to cover over this symbol here. And that's going to give her this thing, right? Yeah, okay. Then we will have this thing attack back, which is 4 to 2 is 2 damage, okay? Then we'll attack here with this synergy token, and that's going to be no rolling of a dice, it's 2. Oh, I can re-roll a die, I see. So I can help someone else by re-rolling a die. Okay, then I'm going to do this. I'll do this attack. So it's 0. I think we're going to use this to re-roll. Minus 1. Well, that's terrible. So let's spend this to this basic gear to re-roll this die. And it's a 1. So 1 plus my strength, which is 1, is 2. That was him here. Okay. And that can at least cover over one of these symbols. And this thing is going to clap back for 4. Oh, I didn't get to do that. Okay, which no blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost dead. Everyone is almost dead. I can't use this. This is not useful now. Oh, I could use this to get back 6 health. Alright, we'll see. Okay. I cannot use recipe cards in combat. That's right. Okay, so I can't actually use that. Mira's Aid actually could give me a symbol if I needed it. I could have used that to get another cunning. Alright, let's see here. This is the last stab here. So 1 plus my cunning is 2, which isn't going to... Well, I could cover 1 up here. I think... So I'm going to be able to get rid of 1 of these, for sure. And it's 2. I think I'm going to... This seems crazy, but I'm going to get rid of her in order to... I'm going to have to go to camp anyway after this encounter, which will reshuffle them back in, just to be able to get 3 damage to put on that. Alternatively, I could give her another one of these cards. I suppose that would have been good for that other character as well. Alright, live and learn. Okay, so this is combat. And now it's going to hit me back, sorry, which is now 3. 1, 2, 3. And then it's going to go back up 2. It's hard to know how long these combats are going to last. Otherwise, it would make sense to cover up its power generation. Okay. Alright, so now we start another round here. This is going to be hers, his, and then I'll give mine to the captain. That was from last turn. Well, +1 if it was Jesse. So that's actually... I mean, I just need 3. So we don't have to go through this whole ignore enemy block. Apparently some enemies will have a block. I mean, this pistol again seems like the thing to do. It's 4 plus a die. Yes, so if I get the -1, it still dies. So let's do this. 3. Now I get the 3. Okay, it's killed, but it still strikes back for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, did I use that stew before now? No, I got the first aid kit. Okay. I do believe, actually, that she took damage last time from that thing, and I did not actually damage her. So this will kill her, actually. This second attack will, because I remember that the reason I healed her up with that, with this first aid, was because I didn't want her to die, because I knew she was going to get clapped back. So, that's going to take care of that. So, again, that's a little fix. I figured that out, luckily. I hope I get something good for this, because, man, that was... we got down 5 life here, right? 5 life, down 9 life. There's a glare there, sorry. Down 7 life, down 5 life, and dead. That was absolutely brutal. And I used up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my cards. Holy smokes. Okay. Well, give me something good. Give me something good. Okay. Oh, I could have run at the end of any combat, so I did. I forgot that. That's why it's good to have another person here with you, because they can help you from making these little errors like I've been making, and also provide a little much-needed counsel. Gain Quest 30 and return to the map. If you defeat the enemies, turn to 8.2. Okay, so Okay, so I did not run, so I don't gain quest 30. Can you see that? Sorry. That's here. So we're going to go to 8.2. And 8.2 is... The creatures retreat, their chilling howls reaching through your ears and gripping your very soul. The very soul! The sound is pure pain, but it soon fades. Gain madness. Oh, that's fantastic. That's what I needed. Somebody that's going to lose all of their abilities. So... I think this is the way to go. Now, she did have a way to make armor, but she was so overkilled that it didn't really matter. Okay. Complete quest 30. This is very odd, because I guess either way I gain quest 30. That's not written very well. So it says complete quest 30. Or maybe I just draw it out and complete it immediately. Oh, I see. Maybe this is going to be like, those are the monsters to kill. Keyword terror. Ghastly monsters attacked us in the fog, and we barely escaped with our lives and our sanity. That's going to go into our completed quests box. Okay, gain 1 Gurgan leaf, 2 blood flowers, and 1 sand honey. Okay, so this is going to be 1 Gurgan leaf, 2 blood flowers. Luckily, these look like what you would expect them to look like. And 1 sand honey. So 1, 2, 3, 4 items. So that was really brutal. I don't know how good that reward is. These are very useful. Plus 8, and then 10 health, and then this thing looks like it gets rid of a frightened or a morale thing, but I mean, certainly that's what we need to power up. And then we return to the map, and we cross off on our map here the very dreadful... So I'm looking now, actually, if you look, we're looking at this symbol here, you can see they're all over here. So, I mean, surely that's got to mean something at some point. Okay, let's take a look and see, can we get our... Okay, dormant, here's our throat stone. We need items that we did not get. First of all, I should just make sure that we did take the right items. Blood flower, Gurgan leaf, whiskey. I accidentally took whiskey. So that's a common item. We needed sand honey. That's another common item, unfortunately. There's a lot of tokens in here. Here it is. Okay, so we got 3 items that we would need to make a... hopefully to revive some of these totems. Let's place that over there for now. So this thing requires none of the items that we just got, unfortunately, to reactivate that totem. Okay, well, that was awful. I would like to get some meat. Okay, so that's it for that player's turn. We're going to go back up to here, where the turn is going to go up to her. I'll put that here. She has madness. We're going to start by drawing 2 ability cards. Okay, bandage and the ability to gain additional wrenches. That does not seem like... I guess I'm not getting this that well, because this doesn't seem like a good exchange. Spending 1 of these to get 1 symbol when some of these tests are 10 or 12, that seems like a poor card to me. In fact, I really should put this guts on. Any player... Okay, so he has 2 strength. I'm going to add this to him. He's going to get a 3rd strength, Azarius, but also, more importantly, anytime a player explores, he's going to gain health. So that's really potent. So let's do that. I'm going to have to get rid of 2 cards. I'm going to get rid of this card that I already mentioned I didn't think was very good. Being able to conjure up a resource is really useful. So I don't want to get rid of that. Having to get rope and then use that as a bandage seems, I don't know, unless there's some other way to get rope. But it seems like that's the other one to get rid of. However, is there any other way to heal? That seems very useful. So we're going to get rid of this bandage because this is a resource we can have a lot, and this is not necessarily a resource we will have a lot, although we do have one here. Okay. The problem is you lose a time every time you move that up. That's what it is. Okay. So let's get rid of this and this. And that's going to equip this. Okay. And we have to draw our event card. Snowstorm. A heavy white cloud looms overhead. This is a level 3, so that can kind of give you a little indication of how difficult these are. Prepare for the storm. 8 of these. That's why they seem crazy. Although it seems like these two, that's 4 right there. It seems pretty good. Let's do that. 4. We just have to draw 4. And that's a 6. Okay, so we succeed. So if we fail, we get that. If we succeed, we get a torch, which is awesome. And that would be good for one of these skills. This and a torch plus 2. Wow, I forgot about that too. That's a lot to keep track of. This could have, this wouldn't have helped me for my fate earlier in the combat. The fate, that's an interesting thing. That's one thing about this game is much easier to grasp, having played Sleeping Gods. However, the differences in the rules are a bit of a detriment because you did draw fate in the original one, and now I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, I should have used that in combat, but actually it doesn't matter because you don't draw fate in combat unless I'm doing something very, very wrong. Okay, so that's the snowstorm. I succeeded. Nice. That goes in the event discard. I did forget to add the thread up here, however. Let's take a look at this again. Okay, I don't want to gain fuel yet, so I don't need that. Okay. So, I'm very hurt, but definitely the captain has a lot of symbols. I should definitely get her going again. So let's, I don't have the meat, but I could use the binoculars to get meat, or this Orm's bait. Okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to use Omlud's bait, which is going to give me 2 meat and a sand honey. So we're going to take the sand honey and 1 meat because we're going to spend the other one and this og root in order to make this stew. It's going to give her this back and 6 health. Okay. However, when we move her from 0, that costs a time. And now this goes into the discard there. It's interesting. That's another interesting part of this is that you would exhaust these with these command tokens in the last game. I believe that's what they were called. And this time you just sort of spend them, but you can't just you can't just keep doing it over and over again. It's simpler. I'm not quite sure which I like better. We'll have to see. Okay, now we are starting. Now we're going to have Jessie do her thing. And what is that going to be? Well, we had discussed moving this way. This fog, if I go here and this is another combat encounter, that's going to be tough. Although, there's no way to know that. It isn't, there's the fog, they came out of the fog. Does that mean all this fog is bad? That could mean something, could not. It's kind of a crapshoot. So I think I should, I'm going to move here and explore. So the movement is going to be 1, and then exploring is going to be 2. And when any player explores, he's going to gain a health back. Okay, so let's take a look at 12. I left the book open. I hope that's okay. If keyword valuable, turn to 12.1. Well, it's not. I don't have it. Slugs climb over a dilapidated cabin, its roof rimmed with lichen. Inside, the place is filled with vivid paintings, landscapes the color of dried blood, peopled by ethereal figures treading uncertain paths. Painting supplies litter the floor. Cobwebs hang from jars of paintbrushes. This is the work of a genius, says Miguel. Oh yeah, that's right. He's a these guys are art people. Interesting. Who painted these? They'll get destroyed out here in this old cabin. They're valuable, all right. They're valuable, all right, says Ed. But we can't carry all these paintings around with us. You find the letter and read it aloud. Raskin, if you want your old job back, return it at once. There's high demand from Stormlock City for weapons and armor, and we're receiving regular shipments of ore from Tharkholm again. That's from Lokifa Ironworks. Gain Quest 134, return to the map. Interesting. So I wonder, this actually is a good thing to write down the valuable keyword, and this is where this painter is from. So interestingly, I wonder if you can find this painter, you can bring him back here. It also gives us a little more information that there is a Stormlock City, so I wonder, Stormlock City's here. Okay, so this, the way I'm reading this, actually, interestingly, this is the kind of things I like about this game. That sounded weird. This is one of the elements I do enjoy about the game, though, is that you can use a little bit of intuition here. So we know we can go to Stormlock City, and that's probably where we can find this person, and then maybe be able to come back, bring them back here. Maybe they can paint us something. They seem to be very talented. Why they would paint us something, if maybe they're getting their inspiration from one of these totems or something. But we do get 134, Quest 134. Okay, so let's take a look here at what it is. Keyword of imagery. We found a cabin filled with fascinating paintings. So I made this note, and we're going to get this. Miguel insists we must find a way to preserve them. They'll likely be destroyed in that old cabin. A letter indicates that the artist Raskin might have returned to work at Lokifa Ironworks to the west. Okay, so, I mean, that's kind of cool. So, this is 8. Okay, that's page 8 if you were to fly to Stormlock City. The trouble with having lost our pilot is the fact that we can't move the plane. Moving the plane would give us... We're gonna get hit by this, unfortunately, because I can't get back to the plane and then fly it. Unfortunately, it's really unfortunate we lost him. Had we used him, that's one of the things that annoys me about games like this, because it's like if you'd already used him, it would have been no penalty. However, we lost him and we didn't get a chance to use him. Just the way it works out. Okay, so we're not going to go back to the plane. We're going to get hit by that. We're going to lose a resource. Maybe that's sand honey, I guess, which doesn't have too great of a... Alright, there's nothing we can do about that. We're going to lose that at the end. She has no abilities right now, but she's ready to do something. So we have done 12. So now, but the question is, do we go to Stormlock City? But we cannot, because I'd have to return here. However, that doesn't mean we can't go there later on in the campaign. I think because of that, let's go this way. And especially because if I go this way, I might find the other plane location and I might even be able to take off. So let's do that. So this is going to be 1, although no, it won't matter because I'll be out of time. Okay. Although I could stop now. Now let's see what's on the other side of this plane. Okay, so she's going to go, we're going to go walking to the next space. I've now entered treacherous terrain, although I could have used this to do that, which is going to be 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's it. So then I'm going to reset this. We're going to go to the next player's turn. It's going to be here. They're going to draw 2 cards. And okay, so we've got 2 challenges. They're the same exact card. Perception, which knowing this card is in here would be good to juice somebody up, although you can't guarantee who's going to get that. Okay. And then we're going to draw an event. Okay, Miguel's Nightmares. That's the art, the son-in-law. Miguel dreams of the portal closing and never seeing Ruby again. So he gains 2 things, which is Madness. That's terrible. And Weakened, which is -2 to all his skills. Well, I'm glad we didn't pump him up at all. Although somebody he can actually spend 2 of these to get rid of one of his states. Well, that's bad. But I do gain an Og root. Doesn't really help me very much. And that's it with that. And now we're ready for Miguel, who is now weakened and crazy, maddened to go. Okay, so and then this had gone off. I forgot about this. I gain an Og root. I forgot to do this here. There's a lot to keep track of here. There's an Og root, and we have to draw this. Move the plane, gain the Og root. So I didn't move the plane. Okay, so this is 4. If it's between 1 and 5, the plane takes a damage and I lose a random item. So I think it's gonna be Og root, and the plane will take a damage. Okay, I'll have to be returning at some point. Okay, I don't know what this is. Oh, this is for the fate I just drew. Okay. All right. Okay, well, I also have this. I can travel 3 and ignore terrain. I would have normally just gone this way, but now I kind of wonder, because I'm going to have to camp soon. I'm almost out of these cards. I'm really hurt badly. When I camp, everybody's going to gain 2 health and all of these things back. So I'm going to spend them on people that can use effects to remove statuses and things. Unfortunately, well, he can remove the frightened. So I might have to do that. I might have to. The other thing I can move up to this one using this card, which I think is the thing to do, because I'll have to move through this terrain, and then I can actually, maybe I can come back down here and go to Stormlock City. Well, just because I have the ability to ignore these, it's better to do that now. Although, whoa, I just realized this is here. So I think I am going to do that. I'm going to travel ignoring obstacles. 1, 2, 3, okay. And now I'm on this space, but I need 11 to 16. So that's going to be a little tricky. So, I can add these. Whoa, look at that. These are not the same. This is 4 to equip. Holy smokes. So I think maybe I would love to get this symbol, but it's going to be 11 is my... Oh, I see. It depends on what you get. Okay, let's take a little closer look at this. And I can use this for 2 of the perceptions of binoculars. Okay, so it depends on what we get. That's what will give us this. But the least of which is actually good for the throat stone. And when you, well, I'm guessing if this is very similar, if we do this, it's going to be another one of these totems that we can then use. That will be another card we can use to our advantage that will power us up. Okay, so I think it's we're going to do this, but the question is, nobody's good at perception. She can't use her abilities, so this is pointless. But I can't get rid of anything anyway. He can't use his abilities, which is awful because he's the guy that can get rid of the abilities. But he doesn't have enough things anyway. So he also has -2 to his skills. He's completely useless until we do something about him. I would rather not bring him along because he has the ability to get rid of the frightened, which is what he has. So I think That's what I should do. Yeah, so we're going to bring the captain. Yeah, let's gain another skill by getting rid of this. This seems really good, but it costs so many cards. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. He's useless. 4. Okay, so that's 4. Boy, that's not great, is it? I can do this if I need to add 2 to the fate. And I can do this to redraw the fate. All right, let's do that. And I can use this to add some fate. Although I guess it is interesting. Do I have to do this before I do the test? Okay, I just wanted to verify that I could do this afterwards, so I will. So we have, as I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And we could get some more. So let's see what we got. 4 and 5 is 9. We want at least 11, so we are going to get rid of the binoculars in order to do that. Now, reward 1 resource matching your result, and then place this into completed quests. Okay, so we're going to get that, the berries here, which we will use for that. Although I'm going to leave it on that board, as I think we're supposed to do so. Okay, so that was good. We got that. Okay, now... is this? I mean, this just says search for treasure, spend 1 time. So I should have spent an extra time to do that. Okay, helps to read the card. Okay, and now what's next? That wasn't a explore or anything, so he doesn't get anything there. Okay, so what are we gonna do? It's so funny. All my cards are gone. All right, so I mean, it seems like go here and research that, right? I mean, that seems to be the thing to do. I'm gonna have to go through this terrain again, which is a little bit unfortunate. It does. Any way I go, it's gonna. I mean, I'm gonna get stuck. So, 1 to go there, and then 2 to explore, which is going to give him a life point, hit point, life point. Okay, 47. Okay. A wooden shack clings to the side of a rock spire in the glittering lake. You climb a staircase to the top and knock softly on the wooden door. Why would someone live in such an out-of-the-way place? The door cracks open and the first thing you see is a head of white, frantic hair. It belongs to an aged man. He sighs, sitting back down, buttoning up a jacket of green patches. "You're a long way from Zokmir, my friend," says Azarius. "I'm not your friend," spits the old man. I guess that was Azarius saying that. I gave him an old man voice. By accident. I'm going to give this guy the old man voice. "I'm not your friend," spits the old man, "and don't mention that damn place again. Now, what do you want? I'm Gloro, and this is my shop of trinkets. You can trade, you can drink my tea, you can stay if you like, but only if you're quiet." He stares at you with one round eye. He's like, so we can quietly buy a tent. So we pay 3 resources, any 3 resources to gain Adventure Card 42 tent. Return to the map and make another choice. We can quietly purchase it. Quietly buy it, or gently purchase it. A treasure map. That's very odd, gently. So I have to be very quiet here. And he's like, "Excuse me." Pay 1 resource. So we can get a treasure map, a tent. I mean, we gotta get these things, obviously. Cautiously show Gloro the book of sketches. Requires keyword sketch. Unavailable keyword debt. So we don't have that. Silently sip some tea and bid Gloro farewell. Restore 1 health. Return to the map. Okay, so we're going to do each of these in turn. So let's start. Well, we got to have 4 resources total. Okay, these we are definitely not getting rid of. These are our our power ones. The torches we can use to add to that, which is good. This is a health point, and this is, we don't have a great use for them at the moment. So I think these are the ones to get rid of. 1, 2, 3, right? So we need 4 to get the map. So one of the torches, I guess. All right, so let's start with these 3. Throw them away, and we're going to start with those 3 to gain Adventure Card 42, the Dent. So here we go. Adventure Card 42. There we are. When you camp, you get 5 more health. Wow, that's very nice. That's interesting. Does that just, I mean, you must use it as you're camping and then shuffle those cards back up and get it right back again. Well, that's very useful. I don't know why I'm putting this away, because we're going to quietly spend a torch to buy the treasure map, which is Quest 40. Imagine if I... that would be like the ultimate trolling, right? For me to just be like, I'm not going to get the treasure map. Everybody be like, done. Like, how could you continue to watch somebody that would not take a treasure map? Madness. Okay, the treasure map. This is very similar to the card that we just got rid of. This shows like a stairway, which I guess it was pretty obvious before that that's what that is. So I don't have to look quite so diligently. We're not there. So we do this. This is another very similar one where we're going to be searching in the same exact way. So it does seem good to build up somebody with perception with that. Okay, and then I'm going to restore health and return to the map and say goodbye. So, I mean, pretty clearly, very weakened here. So let's do that. Okay, so we're done with... what's his name? Gloro. So let's go ahead and mark off Gloro, which is 47. Where are we? Here. Okay. Did we do something else here yet? No, we didn't do anything else. We just searched up here. I do want to mention that we got a map and tent here. Now, if this is like, replay type of thing, then it'd be nice to know where to come back to. Okay, so I could pass now, and it does seem like I might do that. Now, the only reason I would say pass and just give the time to the next person is because this event, if it like moves me north or something like that, I have to go back through this again, and I don't want to do that. It does seem kind of prudent to break now, to camp now. All right, let's do this first before I finish up here too much. Let's go to get rid of this frightened. Okay. She doesn't have abilities, so she can't really use that. He can't use his abilities for that. He's out. He doesn't have anything. And she doesn't need to do anything. Okay. Do I want to equip any other cards? Is there a way to get rid of anything else? This is actually very useful because I could spend these right now, or once per turn. So I could spend one of these to gain a torch. Is there anybody else that's really good at the wrench? No. In fact, he doesn't even have a wrench. Okay, so let's give her, the captain, another wrench. And get rid of... Oh, this is the one that was really useful. But it's 2. But he could do it. Alright. This is just for self. So I'm going to get rid of this. 1. This is actually very specific. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. So we're going to do that to get rid of those. I'm going to do this to gain a torch. Which is a good way to do a damage. And I forgot about that before. Just to cover up something that doesn't have a counterattack associated. Okay, so that's it for that. And I'm going to pass on to here. So I don't remember if I explored and got his health. So that's something I've lost out on. So he's going to have this, and we're going to go to the next turn. Of course, should I take the time to do my resting? Well, let's see what happens after the first event. This does not have a time cost associated to it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw 2 cards. Move that back up to the top. Draw 2 cards. Pay 1 resource to get that. That's not that great. That's really good. Quick. If this character defeats an enemy, the final counterattack deals half the damage rounded up. And this is resources for fate. I mean, this is resource for 2 fate and this, so maybe that isn't as bad as it first appears. But I really... Ooh, this is good too, though, to get rid of. But I don't need it now. I don't have a morale. But if I had a bad morale, this would be good to equip right now. Okay, so let's take a look at the event. An impending rock slide, level 1, so we know it's a little softer. And this looks like the box cover, actually. Kind of pointless, but yeah, that's not the box cover. Very similar, though. Muddy Earth threatens to send a rock slide toward the plane. Turn end. Gain a threat. Draw fate plus threat. If 7 or more, take 2 plane damage and discard this card. This remains in play until you move the plane, and then you'll gain and draw 1 ability card. So this is great to move the plane. I wonder... That can happen immediately, though. So I wonder if I should take the time to come down here and fly away to avoid taking 2 damage on the plane. Because repairing the plane only really is very hard to get 3 repairs. So I don't know what happens when the plane dies. Oh yeah, when the plane dies we get a campfire. So that's very bad. Can I even fly out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would take my entire turn to go down there and fly away. Is that worth gaining an ability card? And that seems terrible. Because I mean, if it's 1 plus gain a threat, draw fate plus threat. So it's 1. So it's if I draw 6 or more, then the plane takes that damage. So I think that seems... I'm going to do it over 2 turns. Hopefully I'll luck out. But I should move towards the plane, I guess. Or shouldn't I? Should I just... I kind of feel like I should just do what I'm going to do and not... I mean, all that's doing is kind of pushing me to go to some other location, which I guess doesn't really matter. That would be a good time to go to Stormlock City. So maybe that's what I should do. Yeah, I mean, none of these locations really mean anything to me, right? Oh, that's where the art's from. Nope, a little bit different. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the plane, and I have to take 3 damage for going through that. And I think I'll take it off of 1, 2, 3, I guess. Boy, that's terrible. Okay, and I'm flying away, and I'm going to fly to Stormlock City, which I have to pay 1 fuel because I went that way. And when I fly, I have to do fate plus distance. So this is going to be 3. So I don't take any damage from flying. That's good. Okay. When I fly, I'm going to get rid of this. This I don't need yet. Okay, so that's done with that. And I'm going to gain an ability card. Bandage, that's... I had one of those already. Okay, so we're going to go to Stormlock City. So we're going to get up here, and we're going to go to Stormlock City, which is page 8. Okay, and we're going to land here. That's kind of cool. It is kind of neat, the idea that like your plane is like, it's not right with you. Of course, it would have invalidated that a bit if we hadn't had to discard Eugene. Is that his name, Eugene? I've already forgotten here. Eugene Coleman. You also have to pay a fuel to move the plane. Although this is a good way, actually, you can restore plane health, or you don't have to spend time, it looks like. Because it clears in location, you could do this to not have to spend the time. That's interesting. So it looks like you just pay 1 fuel to do the plane, but I don't know if you have to still do that. I guess that's not a flight action. Okay. Well, that's it with him. I guess that's the distance for this. I'll have to, next time we fly, I'll have to look up the rule and make sure that that's losing the fuel is just, it says lose 1 fuel. And then distance plus fate. All right, I'll have to just brush up on that maybe off camera here. Okay, so now we're at Stormlock City. That's the end of this turn. We're going to go back up to here. We're going to draw 2 ability cards. This is now going to be... Oop, nope. I forgot I had this. So I actually have 1 more action, of which I cannot take because it would cost 2 actions to do that. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to move back up here and draw 2 cards. This person's going to get... I'm just going to leave this here. It's very easy to forget that. When this character places splash damage, only 1 need to be placed on the initial target. Oh, okay, because you have to put most of the damage on the initial target. And then +1 damage self. Interesting. That seems pretty good. I think giving him that strength would be really good, although that's 4. You know they're really good when it's 4 cards to equip it. This has self 2. So you gain 2 of those, I guess. That's interesting. Lionheart, that's really good, it seems like. Alright, and then we're going to draw our event. Hopefully the event is not going to be combat, because I could equip some of these. Broken weapons. Jesse needs help repairing some broken weapons. Ongoing. If you roll -1 on combat dice, you -1 health. So if you repair the weapons at 9, you fail, you get 6 damage, and you gain a rope. Man, these challenges or tests or whatever like seem brutal. Okay, so it's now his turn, Ed Lau's turn. Wait, did I move that for... It's pretty amazing to see that I've only gone through, I've been playing for hours now, and I have not made a full revolution. It's pretty hilarious. Okay, I have, because I started with him. I have made it. Okay, so I went from him to him. Okay, so it's his turn again. Okay, so that was a little bit of an error. Is that right? Quite remember. I've gone through, I had to look at this. I've gone through 7 of these cards. So, I mean, I started with him, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'd be back to Jesse, which doesn't seem right. But that's what the way the math works out. So unless something made me draw an extra event card, I don't know. However, this was placed after the 8th card, so that makes sense. So I might have screwed that up, but essentially everybody's taking the same turn anyway, so I don't see that it matters too much. So hopefully that was accurate. Okay, so again, a lot for me to keep track of here. This is I mean, it's nice about it is that this is very easily soloed, right? Like you don't, it just there's a lot to keep track of. Obviously with the camera, I have to, that's extra bandwidth that's coming out of my brain where I'm gonna have to, so it is hard to remember. You got to make sure you go in the same order every time. and that token may have gotten wrong, but it's nice to be able to count these event cards to know where I'm at. So maybe I forgot to move it one time, but c'est la vie. Okay, so we're going to start with the next turn. Now the question is, do I camp? Now I've spent all of these that I can spend. We're on a new turn, so I actually can spend this to get one of these. I think I'm going to have to really camp. I don't. It seems kind of absurd to not camp when I'm out of all my cards, and I'm going to go into a whole new area without doing that. So let's go. So when I camp, I'm going to go up an extra 5, right? And then each character is going to go up 2. So I think what I'll do is just have everybody go up 3. Is that right? No, Miguel is much more injured. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So everybody's going to go up 2. That's firstly 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. He's going to gain health much more easily. So I think we'll do 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. The captain. Then whatever. That's fine. I mean, there's no way to really predict what's going to happen. I don't know why I'm shuffling these. These are just all my cards. Cards, I don't need to shuffle you. So we get all of these back. Our old friends. So we have kind of repowered up, and now I can kind of just nest them this way. Can you see all that? I think yes. So let's get these guys over here. And I'm going to have a little bit of a messy hand. Sorry about that. I like having my little card holders, but unfortunately they're not good for top-down camera. For a top-down camera. Okay, so that's maybe that's a good place to stop. I'm excited about continuing along and finding this artist since we're here at this location. Although it could really be anywhere, but I think that might be a good place to stop. That's a couple hours. So I think that might be almost a couple hours here. So that's probably a good stopping point. The first camp, which I have to mark off on my thing here. We're doing normal. I didn't do this to begin with. This is a place for notes. Of course, I should be using that. Health. Oh, this is for saving it. Okay, I see. But I'm going to come back to this. I hate having to pick everything up when we do. So I'm going to come back to this, and whether or not I record another segment or not, I will just continue that way. So I'm not going to enter the save mode. We're going to get rid of this camp here. And yeah, okay. So there we go. Well, thank you for joining. I know I made a couple of slight misplays, or maybe just a couple of little backsies where I realized I forgot about the time or whatever. But all in all, interesting, very interesting game so far. Very similar, but obviously a little bit different. It has some strengths and weaknesses over the other system. It does seem a little cleaner, but I can cover that if I do if and when I do a review. Well, I might see you for a part 2. We'll see. Otherwise, well, thanks for joining me, and I gotta roll.